I'd say professionally, it's a really important part of the equation. And also, another blunt thing I suppose too is that it's very much around if you hang with, I guess, if you hang with quality, you get associated with quality. If you hang with low quality, you get associated with low quality. So I think I'm pretty conscious that I would be defined as much by the people that I don't choose to associate with in business, and there's, you know, as well as the ones that I do, and I try and sort of treasure that pretty carefully. And then on the personal side of it, it's the same deal. So I know everyone talks about networking and all that sort of stuff. I'm not a big networker, but we really try and invest in quality relationships that, and I've got, for those who know me well, I've got some pretty really defined goals for the levels of relationships that I'm looking for over the next 5 years. And so I'm really sort of constantly sort of identifying people who I think are going to have the same level of ambition or drive that I might, and identify them and build relationships with them now, so that when they're in that position in 5 or 10 years and I'm there, we're sort of there together and we're still relating as friends and as equals and doing business together. The third thing, and then I'll probably share some stories and we can just talk. The third thing I'd share is to really understand your skills and to build around you a really quality set of skills that you have access to. So, for example, so I have entertainment, events, finance, property, software, and then all of the facets of each of those businesses. I probably have an opportunity to develop skills in perhaps one of those if I wanted to, but more importantly I actually try to develop some skills that apply similarly across them all, but because that's been my choice of what I wanted to do. But particularly now, if you went around me, then, and it's a bit of a joke because I sort of look like I outsource everything in my life, but I have people that I call on for everything, so as well as all the normal people, so like HR and finance and that sort of thing. I have quality legal people, I have quality coaches in different areas, I have quality advisors, quality chairmen, quality board or advisory people, I have quality mentors, and if there's one thing that I wish I had learned 5 years ago, and I still have a problem with it now, is my ego to show how smart I am, how much I know, or my own fear of myself actually limits me from having greater success. So, the irony when you go back to the start of Mandalay's existence is that I bought a software company that had lost, said $4 million over a number of years and had a failed technical platform, and I went in to run a software company and I have no software background, I have no understanding of risk because I'm the internal optimist, and proceeded to pump in another few million dollars and waste it all on failed software development. So if I had gone back at the start and said maybe I go and find the experts who have done this before, who do know how to build good software and do understand risk management and do understand all these sorts of things, then probably I would have saved myself 2 or 3 years of heartache. And honestly, I'd say that's still the issue, that one of the big issues that I have today is that I still try and hold on to too much stuff, and I don't move quickly enough to go and identify an expert and bring them in for that particular issue, get their support on that, and then equally know when to end it. So very much for me, my sole job now is very much to inspire people and as a resource allocator. So that is people and money to problems and opportunities. So I would really encourage you, and once again, if I talk to any one of you about the scenario that you're thinking about or the idea that you have, I guarantee that maybe not someone here in the area, but for someone that you'll know in Brisbane or Australia that will have the answer to your problem. So whilst what you might be doing is new, the type of problem that you have or the type of challenge that you have, I'm 99.99% sure that someone's already dealt with that type of thing previously, or there's a book on it, or there's resources on it, or there's someone willing to help you out. Because what you do find in business more than I think anywhere else is the real willingness to share. So if you know someone and you want help from them and you think that they would be good, I'll be very surprised if they say no, and if they don't, there'll be someone else who will say yes. So I would really encourage you. From what I understand, most of you are in the sort of like the phases of making the leap out into own a business or your own sort of adventures, or you're out and you're just starting, then I would say to me that's probably the biggest thing that I would really look at, is I'd really look at saying, right, how do I build really successful people around me that I can access for the right things? Because yeah, it cost me a lot of years learning the hard way. So, how am I going for time? Is that good? As in it's finished or no? Sorry, it's been a bit dull. I'm supposed to tell jokes apparently. Sorry, absolutely. So,
the company was down $4 million
yes.
for some number of years.
Oh, sure.
You came in, you lost
yes.
$2 million. Where did the money come from then?
Okay. Right. So, answer. So Mike's question was, when I took over the company that lost all this money and I put in more money, where did that come from? And then how did I get it out of it? Okay. So the brutalness of it. So.
Get in charge of a company that had no money and then have $2 million. What do you do?
Fast negotiations and going, I swear, holy fuck, I think I can do this. That's the one thing that I do know I do well is that I'm prepared when I get to the point to jump. So people will stand behind me and won't jump, and I'll go, yeah, we'll be fine. No, what happened was really simple equation. We built up a lot of equity in property, my brother and I. So I don't know why we changed from that strategy. We should have just kept going. He's hated me for years, but we've sort of passed that now. But we decided that our simple strategy, and it still is a strategy, make money in business, produce cash flow, buy property. So we're just only getting back to the point of producing cash flow after about 7 years of lessons. The idea was I didn't really want to put any money in, so I basically wanted to buy a business that had opportunity and then develop it out of that and back myself that I had the skills to do it without putting in money. So I think we budgeted to spend $300,000 and put it in, and we went well past that. So we basically went to a point where I was insolvent to the tune of about $800,000. So what that means for everyone is that your debts and liabilities far outweigh your assets by nearly $1 million. And I got to the point where I actually had to have a customer make a payment direct to the tax office. So I was probably a very large debtor to the tax office, and I actually offered, when I paid it off, offered to write an article for them for the Fin Review, because I get a lot of bad press, and they're extremely good at working with me because I just stayed in contact with them, because I knew that they even feel shivers down my spine now, because I knew that I was that close to just getting killed. And I got all the advice that I should, put in administration and close it up and do the right thing. But I was so far there, and I thought, no, I'm going to make it. We've gone through many processes of sacking people and making them redundant and all sorts of ugly stuff like that. We got to that point and then really just worked back from fall. So I learned a lot about software development. Even though I couldn't do it, I actually got stage of testing and doing a lot of really active types of things in the business, and then gradually built it back up from there. So that was sort of, I suppose, 4 or 5 years ago, where it hit that point of real sort of no return, where it was really like you burnt the bridges and you really had to then turn it around. So I read the stories that you read in the books about how these people go through those types of experiences, and they're really strong and they're gung-ho and they have this massive belief. And if I was honest with myself, then I'd say that I was really beaten at that time. So I was emotionally just completely smashed, but I just sort of seemed to survive and and you keep going for another day and another day, and then you gradually, because you're sort of, I don't know, stupid or something, you just sort of keep rolling forward. If there are any other questions, please just fire them up. Yes?
You were in real estate.
Yes.
How did you stumble across the opportunity to do something totally different?
Okay, so the question was, is in real estate, how did I stumble across the opportunity to do something totally different? So I'll link it back to one of the points I used around networks. So what I did was, I basically built a scenario of what I was looking for, and then I did the naive thing of going to talk to people who thought might have the answers, and they were business brokers and that type of thing. And they didn't have the answers, but then I met other people through that, and then I met a guy who then knew a guy, and then he said, oh, so what are you really looking for? And I said, oh, I'm looking for, I had sort of 6 or 7 criteria. So the criteria was, I didn't want to pay any money for it, needed to have large opportunities for growth, needed to be able to employ really good people, so I could, you know, have fun with people. Needed to have high barriers to entry, or be able to build barriers to entry. Needed to be, what else? What I call good. So I find some businesses like bad, like they're sort of a bit soul destroying. Like I couldn't really justify it. But this one, I think we actually do good things in the world and we make people's lives easier. And so he said, oh well, actually I know of something. So I literally, he said, oh, do you know anything about weighbridges? And I don't know, does anyone know anything about weighbridges? The engineers might, but basically anything big on trucks you have to weigh, and that's how it's transacted. And so I learned a crash course in about 2 weeks on weighbridges, and then negotiated with the owner who needed to basically have an exit strategy by the end of that month. And sat down with him, I was 23, and he was this sort of big successful dude. He had another business that was really successful. We sat in his big office, in his big boardroom, and he had his lawyers and his accountants there, and I was more scared than anything else, but sort of stuck at it, I suppose. And then sort of, I think I texted a friend of mine and said, I got it. So it sort of started from there. Yeah. And then I learned about it the hard way. Any other questions? Yes.
I want to ask a question about passion and facilitation. I guess you're more passionate at the start with the real estate side of things, and probably now with your events, company, that sort of thing.
Passion.
Passion and drive towards your goals. And how did you sort of transition between? Because myself now delve in a lot of different things. I'm trying to. It's very hard for me to push this as well. But how do you find the drive and the passion in each and every one of them? Because maybe software originally might not have been your driving force. It might have been just facilitation to the people and make operations work. That was the challenge for you.
Sean asked a really good question, which I'll try and just paraphrase in a simple one, which is all around passion. So how do you transfer it between things? How do you manage it? How do you then direct that into drive and things like that? Is that a good question? So people have got multiple projects. How do you find the passion? And then how do you direct it? And then how do you stop it from losing or diluting? The easiest answer, or the thing that I forgot to share, which is actually really important, which is where I get all my passion. So where I actually get all my passion is from, I guess, the word contribution. So I'm involved in 2 not-for-profit organisations or charities. One is what I think is the biggest social issue facing this country, which is around Indigenous health and trauma and mental health issues in Indigenous health that then lead to suicide and alcoholism and all sorts of stuff. So I spend about a day a fortnight and a bunch of money working in that space to develop what I call quality leadership that will actually solve the problem. So it's easy to get caught up in your own rubbish when you spend your time with yourself and your friends and they tell you how good you are. So when you're out in that environment and you see those things and feel that stuff, then it's like there's a reason for doing this. And maybe that's a bit of ego, I don't know, but like I've been exposed to that world since I was youngish, so I've always known about it. So that's probably, I'll be doing that 20 years from now, so that's why I'm here. And the second one is I'm just supporting a mate who's now, he's taken his passion, which is around changing Australia's dysfunctional drinking behaviour. He's turned it into a charity and he's asked me to come on board and help him make it successful. So that also is something I'm really passionate about because I think so many people give their lives away to really dysfunctional behaviour, and alcohol is a good excuse for it. But I think the thing out of it now, which I understand, is that I actually now am more passionate about the people. So I'm all about developing the talent. So if you're a great person, you're a great idea, then I'm very confident I can make you successful. So it was really ego check for me a bit, because I always used to think that it was about me, and it's sort of been built into me a little bit that it's not about you, it's about your ability to influence others. So very much now I get passionate about those things, because in all those things there's someone who's passionate about finance or events or property or software, and it's a real issue as to why my success has been halted, is because unless I'm really in that passion, I lose interest in about 2 weeks and I become terribly distracted. I can tell you lots of stories about that.